Not Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Then put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain we can't climb. Babe, I got you, babe. I got you, babe.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties, 'cause it's cold out there.
It's cold out there every day. What is this, Miami Beach? I don't
Not
think so.
hardly. And, you can expect hazardous travel later today with that, that blizzard thing.
Oh, that blizzard thing. That blizzard thing. Oh, well, here's the report. The National Weather Service is calling for a big blizzard thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are. But, there's another reason why today is especially exciting.
Especially cold.
Especially cold, okay. But the big question on everybody's lips.
Yeah, they're chapped lips.
On their chapped lips,
Chapped
right.
lips.
Do you think Phil's gonna come out and see a shadow?
Punxsutawney Phil.
That's right, woodchuck chuckers. It's Groundhog Day! Get up and check that hog out there! Yeah!
It is Groundhog Day!
All right.
Welcome to it. 888-900-3393, also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
That was the morning team that got replaced by Flap Jackson, right?
That's right, yes. Now we do traffic and weather together every 9 minutes on the 8s. Plus, no rap, no hard rock, no sleepy elevator music. Just the best hits of the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, today, next month, next week, and next year. Plus Flap Jackson and the Morning Zoo crew every morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. All right. So here we are on Groundhog Day 2021 already. Where is the time gone? Gosh,
They're going to do a virtual deal today with Punxsutawney Phil.
they are?
Stupid.
Really?
Yeah, no
That's true.
celebration.
So at the, what is it, Gobbler's Knob, they're not actually going to be there on Gobbler's Knob?
I guess Phil's going to dial in via Zoom.
That's stupid.
Very stupid.
Yeah, stupid. Can you believe, let's see, it's 2021, so in 2 years, Groundhog Day will be 30 years ago.
The movie.
The movie.
Wow.
Groundhog Day, the movie. 30 years old. Unreal.
That is.
As it is now, it's 28. 28 freaking years old. That is just, it's too hard to believe. Too hard to believe.
Time flies, man.
I'll not believe it.
You'll not. Wait.
I'll not believe it.
But you just said it yourself.
No, that's a lie. I just lied.
Oh, hello, Joe Biden. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. It's only 5 years old. That movie. Yeah, happened 5 years ago.
Wow.
Feels like it. Feels like it just. It feels like I just watched it for the first time in a movie theater.
How many times have you watched that movie?
Oh, I don't know. I can't even count. So many. I don't know, 30 probably. And it's, it's a tradition that every year on this day I watch it again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's your big plan for the day?
It's my plan for the day. I'm going to watch, if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to watch Groundhog Day, the movie.
Phil? Sorry.
Ned? So great. Such a great movie. Maybe the best of all time, frankly. Maybe the best of all time. All right. 888-900-3393. Back in the day when we thought things were really bad under Bill Clinton. Remember that? In 1993, we thought we had it really bad. Bill Clinton was president. I was pissed off about it. Wow. How naive I was.
Feels like nostalgia now.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, Bill Clinton, you just, you pine for those days.
Seriously, I just over the weekend watched the Peyton Manning ESPN Plus show where he had Bill Clinton on as a guest.
Yeah.
And I'm like you, I couldn't stand him back in the 90s.
Oh.
And now I look at him
Hated
like,
the guy.
simpler times.
Oh, he's like your dad or
Take
something.
me back to the
like,
cigar in the White House, please.
Yes!
Seriously.
Seriously. Compared to what's going on right now?
Give me the Monica Lewinsky scandal all
take
day
that all
compared
day,
to
every
Marxism in my face.
Yep.
Oh.
Marxism, oppression, removing free speech. I mean, the things we're up against now, 1993 doesn't even compare. Doesn't compare. Those were great times. Bill Clinton was Barry Goldwater compared to what we've got going on today.
Yes.
I mean,
Seriously.
you know?
Could Bill Clinton, I know we've asked this before, it's been a while, could he get elected today with his policies?
Not in his 1990 policies.
Not
no
a
way.
chance.
There's no chance of that.
Think of some of the
Zero.
stuff, man, that he talked about. The era big government is over.
They redid welfare.
Right. He referred to illegal aliens as illegal aliens.
Yeah. None of that would happen today. None of that's acceptable today. Plus, her stance on abortion was much less extreme. You know, I think they would have treated a baby who was born instead of aborted, born alive. I think they'd treat that baby today, or back in 1993. Today, no way would they do that. Today, their policy is, let it die. I mean, it's really staggering what's happened to the Democrat Party. Oh, but it's the Republicans who've gotten so extreme. They're the ones who are such kooks. Jeez. By the way, did we mention this yesterday? Joe Biden has signed 42 executive orders in 10 days. Now, Keith did a little math yesterday. So that's 4.2 per day. 4.2 executive orders per day. He's on pace to sign, if this continues, 6,136 executive orders in 4 years.
Is that a lot?
Seems like a lot to me.
6,000?
Yeah, seems like a lot. The current executive order record holder is FDR at 3,721. So that would almost double FDR in 4 years. Now, that's 3,721 in 12 years. If Biden were to serve for 12 years, at this pace, he would sign 18,000 executive orders.
Madness. Madness.
Jeez.
He's on a 6 times the pace, right, as FDR then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Donald Trump signed 220 in 4 years. 220. Barack Obama, 276. George W. Bush, 291. Bill Clinton, 364. George H.W. Bush, 166. So other than H.W. Bush, Donald Trump signed the fewest executive orders. And he was such a tyrant. He was such a fascist. Really? Okay, thank you.
I love that. The left constantly said that about Trump, but yet at the same time, he wasn't doing enough in things like COVID and stuff. So which is it, man?
Right. Ugh. Yeah, they were continually accusing him of being a dictator or a tyrant of some sort, and yet they wanted him to clamp down and make all these decisions on COVID, to lock down the country and to mandate everything. Really amazing. I was reading some headlines yesterday about Trump's attorney team for the impeachment trial. Mm-hmm. And, he lost, 5 lawyers over the weekend and got 2 other lawyers, I guess, brand new lawyers to represent him. And one of the lawyers represented Roger Stone. This was the big headline that was supposed to, I guess, amaze and shock people. One of his lawyers also represented Roger Stone and believes that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Okay, he represented Roger Stone. I'm not a big Roger Stone fan, but are there certain American citizens who don't deserve justice? Is that what we're expected to believe from the media now? We should make them represent themselves because no lawyer will represent them? I mean, that's an asinine implication, just asinine. That this lawyer is somehow bad because he represented a client who's not popular. I mean, how many lawyers have to do that? All of them.
John Adams represented the
British
soldiers in the Boston Massacre.
Right. And get this, he believes Jeffrey Epstein was killed. Oh, you mean like 45% of all Americans? Jeez. Like there wasn't anything fishy about Jeffrey Epstein's death. I mean, it's bizarre.
How many people were reading that going, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Guy defended Roger Stone. Oh, I'm with this writer of this article. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I actually am with the attorney here. If he believes what I believe about Jeffrey Epstein.
Right? I mean, how many Americans? Every American I know believes Jeffrey Epstein was killed.
Oh.
I mean, not everybody believes it was Hillary Clinton that did it or that paid somebody to do it, but somebody.
Yeah, it was probably her.
Somebody snuck in there and killed him. I mean, it's just there's just too many shady things that occurred during that period of time to where, I mean, I believe Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Do you?
Absolutely, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the evidence is. Oof.
It's kind of silly to believe he did commit suicide. I think, based on everything that happened all at once, everything that happened was a coincidence. Oh, okay, they were supposed to check on him every 15 minutes. They didn't check on him for 8 hours.
Well, the cameras probably caught all the bad stuff. That was
happening. The cameras were all out. By the way, his cellmate was moved just like an hour or two before he died.
But it's not like there had been attempts on his life in the past.
Yeah, he was just saying that somebody tried to kill him a week prior to that.
Okay, all right, Mr. Circumstantial, I got it.
And by the way, they were supposed to have, was it tearaway bed sheets or something to that effect when you're on suicide watch, and they didn't. So I'm sure it's all a bunch of coincidences.
But it's not like he had upset people in high places that maybe he had dirt on,
except
like maybe a former president or something.
Yeah, like hundreds of people who are in high power positions.
Which I would like to point out that we're alluding to the Clintons as potentially having an involvement in the death of an American citizen. Yet those are the simpler times that we pined for 10 minutes ago. That's how far we've fallen in this country. We want that presidency back.
Jeez. Sad. And let's not forget the jail itself.
Yeah.
They hadn't had a successful suicide attempt in the last 45 years. 45 years. But then all of a sudden, Jeffrey Epstein? All right.
Look, man.
Pretty weird.
Yeah. When you want to get her done, you find a way. And he found a way.
And he found a
against
way.
all odds.
He sure did. Talented suicide artist. Jeez. All right. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Keith tweeted out something yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Sunday, right?
Okay, on Sunday.
Yeah. Is this the bar thing?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. You were in a bar?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was at Main Event, letting my kids run around and enjoy life.
Yeah. So there's a little issue with the change you received back when you paid for your tab.
By the way, so it cost $7.89 for a beer at Main Event, which is a crime in of itself.
What?
That's
Wait, for one beer?
Yeah, the receipt's right there. I actually looked this up.
It said $7.89, but I thought that was like your meal or something.
Yeah, right.
That's one beer?
Of course. So I'm sitting there waiting for the kids to play, right? And for the record, it costs $9 for a beer at Dallas Cowboys Stadium for comparison.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, this place. So
wow.
And this has happened before where you'll get your change back because I pay cash and they shortchange you the penny or two that they might owe you. Okay? So that's what happened with this individual. Didn't give me my full change. And that's becoming a real issue.
So
it really upsets me. I mean, that's
it should. It's theft.
That's theft. Thank you.
Now, I hate pennies. I don't want to get pennies. But if you owe me pennies, I want you to get my permission to shortchange me those pennies.
But that's happening a lot.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? We're short on pennies. Do you mind if we just keep the 2 cents? No. Go ahead.
Yep. I would have said, sure. That's fine, dude.
But if they just shortchange you, that's a different deal.
They don't even ask.
Yeah. They've stolen 2 cents from you.
Thank you. And
it's a principle of the thing.
And it also affected his tip, I will say, because
you didn't say anything to you.
Really? You're going to shortchange me? Well, I'm going to shortchange you. And American society rolls along.
I think that's fair.
But see, now you go through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru, and it's just the opposite these days. They're rounding up. So where this guy owed me $12.11 and only gave me back $12.10, if that had happened in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru, they would have given me $12.15. Because they're awesome.
Oh. Yeah, yes.
But that really,
because they're short on pennies, and so they just skip the pennies, but they give you the benefit of the doubt. Mm-hmm. That's a great business that does that.
Now, if the Chick-fil-A employee's drawer is like $50 short at the end of the day, yeah, a lot of rounding up today. But seriously, does that not happen to anybody? Everybody else that I've
doesn't happen to me because I never
don't use cash. Right?
I just never have cash.
I'm telling you, man, this is becoming an epic. I don't know if it's lazy. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's a coin shortage as so much as that. Yeah, whatever.
So have a lot of people gone through this? First of all, a lot of people don't use cash. But if you use cash, have you noticed this same phenomenon where they don't even ask you, they just shortchange you? I'd like to hear from people who've been shortchanged because that's just wrong.
Yeah.
It's just wrong.
And this is the one time that I haven't called them out on it. This time I was just like, whatever. I'll just lessen the tip. But normally you'll say something and they'll be like, oh, yeah. Okay, sorry, I messed up. Ha, ha, ha.
And they act like it was a mistake.
Right. Nobody ever owns up to, oh, you really want a penny, dude?
It would just be nice to say, yeah, I'm sorry, we're short on, I probably should have asked. We're short on pennies. We're in a coin shortage, and I should have asked if you minded if I shortchanged you a penny.
But you didn't. So it sucks for you when I get up from this bar and there's a lot less money on the table than would have been if you had just, I don't know, done right to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's just plain wrong. That's just plain wrong to do it that way.
I'm glad that you're on my side for a change.
Yeah. No, I'm on your side on this.
All right.
That's stupid business.
It is.
Really, it's stupid business.
Yeah. And by the way, I did tag Main Event in this tweet. Have yet to hear back almost 48 hours later.
And I mean, it's a couple of pennies to the company, to Main Event. It's worth it to give the customer an extra 4 cents or whatever it would have been.
Who just charged me for a beer.
Right.
I could have gone and got a $6-pack
for a
at
beer.
Kroger for less.
Yes. Especially, you cut into their profit margin by 3 cents. Come on now. Come on. When you're charging that kind of money for a beer? Mm-hmm. Wow. All right. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. I understand. Well, we'll tell you about Fauci's latest on masks in just a second. But first, let me tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust. Real Estate Agents I Trust is Glenn's company. And so he's got people who closely vet these realtors and make sure that they're going to do a great job for you. They've got great track records. They have great marketing plans. They're not just going to count on an open house every single weekend so that you can keep your house completely spotless every single day, just in case somebody comes to see your house. They know how to advise you on whether or not to repaint your house or whether to change the countertops out or your flooring or whatever the case may be. They know what buyers are looking for. And my favorite thing is they're fans of the show. And so you're going to have a lot in common with them when you're going around looking for homes or they're coming to your home and bringing people through. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name really kind of says it all. Go to realestateagentsitrust.com. That's realestateagentsitrust.com.
It's Pat Gray Unleashed on the Blaze.
How many positions has Saint Fauci of DCC had on masks? First of all, it was masks aren't necessary, right? Then it was, no, you got to wear a mask. Then, two masks might be good. And now it's this. Here's what he just said about masks.
There are many people who feel, if you really want to have an extra little bit of protection, maybe I should put 2 masks on. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's no data that indicates that is going to make a difference.
Okay. Jeez. So it's hard to keep up. with his changing positions. Don't wear a mask. Yes, you do need to wear a mask. What about 2 masks? Well, it might help. No, there's no data to indicate it does help. So, but go ahead and wear them, but it's just not going to do you any good. He's taking both sides on everything.
Remember yesterday, Sneaky Biscuit made us aware of that NBC doctor who says, yeah, go with 4. 4 masks.
Right. Which we said, when will that happen? And it had already
It happened already.
It had already happened.
So will we be at 5 by week's end?
Probably. By the way, there was a mask expert that was just saying how stupid it is to wear multiple masks because the point of entry isn't right in front of you. It's where it fits on your face. That's where the stuff gets through, is right through to here and here. Because it doesn't fit snugly on your face. You know, it's not a gas mask. You're not wearing something that's going to totally protect you and seal out all the juices.
Wait, we're back to the juice seal?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. If you want to seal out all the juices, wear a gas mask. Okay. I challenge you to do that. To go into Kroger next week with a gas mask.
Yeah.
On.
While you're in there, pick me up a 6-pack of Blue Moon.
And then you can take it to
the main event. Yeah. So, okay, because you said that this doctor was talking about, the analogy was goggles, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because goggles, where's
it leak?
Where does it leak? It doesn't leak out the lenses. It leaks out the fit. So that's what happens with the germs as well, and the juices.
Germs and juices. Good morning.
It does very little good. Also, Fauci has shared his genius with us on kids and when they should be vaccinated. He sees vaccination for kids by late spring or summertime. Now, you're not gonna get your kids vaccinated, obviously, right?
There's not a chance.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
None of us.
So the guy, and frankly, I don't really see the need for it, at least in small children. Now, maybe when they get to, I don't know, late teens or early 20s, they become young adults, you might want to consider it because more young adults have gotten sick with this. But why vaccinate young kids who are not getting the disease? And even if they get it, they don't have any problem with it.
Yeah, this is... Okay, this is one of those thanks for the info, Doc. What is it? Yeah.
And the vaccine is not even approved yet for kids, by the way. But testing is already underway for those as young as 12. If those trials are successful, Fauci said they'd be followed by another round of testing down to 9 years old. Wow.
Leave the kids alone.
Do you remember the story we had either yesterday or the day before about a baby dying from the vaccine?
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah.
And I said, why are you even vaccinating a baby?
Gosh.
Huh. That's really strange. All right, 888-900-3393 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. When will it end? When will the COVID nonsense end? Doesn't seem to be any end in sight. Even though hospitalizations are way down, infections are down. So what they're talking about now are the death toll right now because it lags behind all the infections and the hospitalizations. So they don't want to focus on the positives like, oh, wait, looks like, we might be recovering from this a little bit, and maybe we're on the upswing.
And so all of these deaths from the last 13 days, they are blood on Joe Biden's hands, correct?
Right.
So he is responsible for all of these deaths as long as he's been president. So just don't forget.
Of course, that's not the case. I've heard 0 reports on how Biden is culpable for anything. I mean, this is still all Trump's problem, according to the media. But Biden lied. It's trending on Twitter as critics demand the $2,000 stimulus checks he promised during the campaign, because now they're talking about shortchanging people. Just like Main Event did to you, Keith,
right.
Joe Biden wants to do to the American people. He's been in office 10 days now, right? Signing 42 executive orders and memoranda covering everything from climate change to transgender rights to COVID-19. But apparently he was too busy to start making efforts to make good on one of his key campaign promises. And this is what people are waiting for the most, no doubt, especially people who've been out of work. People are struggling to make ends meet or pay their rent or mortgage. He hasn't done anything about the $2,000 to Americans yet, because that's what he promised everybody. Yeah, we're going to do the $2,000 because you're hurting from the pandemic. Yeah, that's what Trump wanted to do.
That's how they won the 2 Georgia Senate seats, because that was the promise, right?
Yeah, his promise, $600, he tweeted out, is simply not enough when you have to choose between paying rent or putting food on the table. We need $2,000 stimulus checks.
Oh, wow, that's pretty clear, right?
Yeah, seems like it. Okay, so where is it? In a campaign to Georgia to help the 2 Democrat candidates there in early January, Biden made new stimulus checks a central promise, telling Georgia voters they'd be getting $2,000 payments if the Democrats won the Senate runoff elections. During a speech in Atlanta, he promised that money will go out the door immediately.
That $2,000.
The $2,000 stimulus check going right out
because
to help people who are in real trouble.
At this point, we had already gotten $600, right? And so he's saying an additional $2,000. I mean, that's how it's worded, not only in the tweet, but in the speech.
Instead, nope, nothing. Americans aren't happy. And over the weekend, some took to Twitter to complain using the hashtag Biden lied. Didn't take long for that to start trending. The complaints came after the Democrat Party posted a tweet outlining Biden's new plan to distribute $1,400 stimulus checks. Wait, what happened to he's taking off the $600 that you were promised.
Oh, so he's using Trump's $600 and saying, I only owe you $1,400 now.
Yep.
Okay.
So he's going to build. POTUS will build on the $600 down payment provided by Congress last year, sending an additional $1,400 to households across America, totaling direct payments of $2,000 per person. That was a DNC tweet. So they're claiming that the $600 was a down payment. Now we owe you $1,400 more,
plus a penny.
Plus the penny.
I'm not letting that go.
That Keith lost at main event. But that's not what he promised, though. He didn't promise $1,400. He promised $2,000. Unbelievable. So he's reneging on this.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And so far, you haven't gotten the $1,400 either.
No. Well, that's his proposal. Yesterday, he and Republicans met. The Republicans are proposing just $1,000 each. But yeah, the left, his base, Biden's base, is up in arms right now on social media as far as where's my $2,000.
And even, progressives, like podcast host Ryan Knight. I'm not real familiar with him, but we looked him up. It seems to be quite progressive.
Yeah, his logo is the Workers of the World Unite fist raised in the air.
The communist fist.
Yeah.
He's a little pissed. He said $2,000 is not $1,400. So Joe Biden is either a liar or really bad at math.
Both.
I'm going with liar.
Okay.
Biden lied and the whole government lied, wrote another on Twitter. Don't say you're giving us $2,000 checks when you're really giving us $1,400 checks. That's just cold, bruh. Bruh.
Did Martin tweet that out? Bruh. I see you in there, Martin. You tweeted Joe Biden, didn't you?
That's just cold, bruh. Nobody should be surprised that Biden lied about $2,000 checks. He lied the entire primary, but liberals were too busy chanting Trump bad to even care that they were nominating a pathological liar.
Oh, wow. Look at this. He's got a list.
Love that.
He lied about the bankruptcy bill, Social Security, Hyde Amendment, Medicare for all, ban on fracking, his voting record, and 9 super PACs.
Well, and a lot more than that.
Yeah.
But that's a nice start. There's 7 big lies that he told.
Yeah, where's our cancer cure, by the way?
Oh, that's coming.
Like the president,
that's coming.
You're going to see the single most important thing that changes in America is we're going to cure cancer.
Oh, now that should be kind of a priority,
that's
I would think.
Pretty big promise.
Pretty big.
Liar.
One today.
A little chunk of Groundhog Day, which we started the show with because it is, in fact, Groundhog Day. And that got me to thinking, wow, that was 1993. That was 28 years ago. So we were discussing the perspective we have now when we look back on how bad things we thought were back in 1993 under Bill Clinton. Maybe the good news is that 28 years from now, when Joe Stalin III is president of the United States, we'll look back and think, remember how bad we thought it was under Biden? Wow, those were good times. Those were good times.
If we are looking back to now as good times,
yeah,
I don't want to see 28 years from now.
No, that would not be good. Not good. But our current White House press secretary making things really good. Her press conferences are fantastic.
Yeah.
On the American Rescue Plan, this letter was signed by over 400 mayors. I know there's a lot going on, so just wanted to highlight it for all of you. And West Virginia Governor Jim Justice, also a Republican, said in interviews today that he agrees that going big in this moment is critical. And last thing I just want to do before we get to your questions, I often note I'm going to circle back. I hate to disappoint conservative Twitter, but I am going to circle back on a number of things, as we often do directly. But Hurricane Maria funds, which was a question that was asked last week, the president has made clear.
Yeah, who cares?
Okay. Why would that disappoint conservative Twitter?
We enjoy that. We're just going to add that to our montage.
We think it's fun because you're an idiot for continually saying circle back as a crutch.
It's getting under her skin.
Yeah, we're getting space in her head right now, rent free. It's pretty awesome. So, and that's only going to get worse as time goes on and we continue to mock her because she's not good.
No,
I think we've already realized. Jen Psaki's not good. She's done this before, too, because she was the White House, no, not the White House, the State Department spokesperson under Obama for a while. And she was terrible then.
Yeah, she used to always go head-to-head battling with this one guy. Who was that reporter who would always...
That's right.
Call her out, and she was always taking it personally.
The guy in the front row, and it pissed her off.
Right.
How dare you challenge me?
She's not up for that role.
No way. No way. And now, Biden's communications team is asking reporters for their questions in advance. Didn't Kayleigh McEnany do that? And it was like the end of the world to these people?
Wait, she did?
Did she do it?
Oh, no, I thought that... No, I don't think so.
What was the big thing with because we've gone through this before with reporters being asked to submit their questions in advance, and depending on who's in office, it pisses them off.
But I was thinking that if she did make that request,
yes,
that it'd be the end of the world. It would be like, oh my gosh, freedom of the press. What do you mean you need to know ahead of time? Are you trying to censor us? Come on. So I don't think she did that, but I'll check that.
The Daily Beast, according to the Daily Beast, President Biden's communications team has asked reporters what questions they plan to ask.
Wow.
Because obviously, Psaki is she's starting to become sensitive about being mocked on this circle back thing. And so they're going to try to figure out the answers to these hard questions in advance, if they're asked any. I mean, this is amazing. The Daily Beast referenced 3 sources with knowledge of the matter, as well as written communications reviewed by the Daily Beast, who intimated that the Biden communications team had made the approaches to reporters. Yeah, because they can't handle it. They can't handle it. And they're being treated with kid gloves right now, and they can't handle it. What would it be like if somebody asked them really tough questions? Amazing. Got some tweets here as well. Pete Finnegan tweets, they're going to be there at Gobbler's Knob. So who is going to be there?
Yeah,
the officials?
so, it was a little misleading what I had heard earlier today.
No crowd, though.
No crowd.
Okay.
But yeah, the guys with the top hats and the goofy smiles on their face. And
it's already happened because we're an hour behind Eastern time. And Phil did see his shadow.
Saw his shadow, yeah.
6 more weeks of winter.
Well, it's really a tough prediction to make while,
Tough one.
It's snowing as you're holding Phil up for the non-existent crowd there.
Yeah, they got up to 30-some inches in some cities.
Oh, wow.
In the Northeast. Did New York get, I think I saw 18 inches. Is that right?
Yeah.
They got a lot.
How many?
18!
Thank you. I was looking at the snowfall map, and the highest number I saw this morning was 18. And it was close to NYC. So yeah.
Okay. Devin Crossley tweets, why doesn't Jeffy go out and tell us if he sees his shadow? Then we'll know if we have 18 more weeks.
Okay. That's not playing fair. What are the odds that he doesn't see his shadow?
From Jack's Dad 05, 4.2 executive orders signed every day. Is Sleepy Joe too tired to finish signing the fifth one? Yep.
Yeah, there's an executive order out there somewhere with a signature, and it's just like this starts to J-O, and then just a line where his head hit the table.
From Mata 1971, you better give me my pennies. That's just my 2 cents.
Yes!
Yeah.
That's good.
Kevin Sullivan, Mr. Fauci, to me, he is not a doctor. He's a politician. Yeah. Absolutely. But get used to it, because he's going to be doing this as long as we have to deal with this stupid virus. And who knows how long that's going to be.
As long as it serves their purpose of more control over your life and your ability to choose and make personal decisions about your freedom.
Well, because your personal decisions affect everybody around you, Keith. That's what they're going to say to us.
You know how they don't?
Let's not forget.
If people want to stay home, then it doesn't matter what the heck I do, because you'll never know.
Yeah.
So
okay.
How did we get to the point where it's incumbent upon me to look out for you? Stay home if you're terrified. Wear a mask if you're concerned.
Well, it's that whole thing that we've said a million times. Protect the most vulnerable among us. Encourage them to stay home, because they should be the ones not, getting out and being around people. And then the rest of us go about our business.
Yeah.
That's what we should be doing right now.
You know who stays home? My 95-year-old grandmother. She's not in Walmart going up to people asking where their masks are. She's staying home away from possible infection.
She's not going to concerts.
She used to.
Rave parties.
Like every other weekend. It's like, Nana, I got it.
I heard Nana was a big raver.
Big time. Big time. And
but
so
she's curtailed that a little bit?
Yeah, because the pandemic has really affected her social life.
It's prudent, though. It's prudent.
But, she loves the parties.
Yeah. She likes to party. She likes to get down.
She likes the boogie, right?
Uh-huh.
That's where I have to stop. I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot the rest of the song.
Okay.
So.
All right, cool. Yeah, but so Nana obviously playing it smart now, because she doesn't want to risk being exposed to the virus. And that's how it works.
Yeah.
Look out for yourself. I know it's a novel concept in the year 2021, but that's kind of how this country was built. People looking out for their own interests. Stop worrying about me. I'll worry about me.
Hey, to celebrate Black History Month, we've got this half-black conservative.
Yeah, that's her
Is that
name.
what she calls
that's
herself?
Her handle, yeah.
Yeah, that's what she calls herself. So don't get all up in our face. She has a message for all of us.
We went to a bookstore. Look at this.
Let's take a look at the nonfiction section in Target.
All right.
First, we have Me and White Supremacy. Next up, How to Fight Racism. Then we have How to Be an Anti-Racist. Following that, we have White Fragility. Why it's so hard for white people to talk about race. Then we have So You Want to Talk About Race? And I could go on, but we'll end with Black Dignity in a World Made for Whiteness. And just before we go, let's take a look at the children's section with hits like All Because You Matter and Anti-Racist Baby. So let me make this clear. You are being brainwashed and manipulated. I don't care who you are. People of color, you are being brainwashed into thinking that you are a victim and that you are hated, and then manipulated into using your voice, your vote, and your time to support people who do not share your interests and frankly do not care about you. And white people, you are being brainwashed into feeling guilt that you should not feel, manipulated into closing your mouths, and blamed for an issue that has been exaggerated beyond belief. It is due time that we all wake up.
I have a new best friend.
Oh, wow.
And it's her.
Okay.
That's so refreshing to hear, isn't it? It's so comforting to know that there are still people who have some common sense on this issue. Wow.
Wow. Where's your white guilt, dude?
Yeah. I don't have it because I didn't I didn't do any of what they're trying to pin on us.
Hater.
So, I was taught that when you stereotype an entire group of people, that's racism. And that seems to be what they're doing to us right now. And it just doesn't matter. They can do and say whatever they want about Whitey, about whether or not we're legitimate, whether or not your success is legitimate. And, of course, it isn't. None of it is. None of your place in society is legitimate because you stole it from somebody else, right? Even if you worked your anus off your whole life to get to where you are, doesn't matter.
That's a rough way to live.
Doesn't matter.
Sans anus.
All right, let me tell you about Brooker's founding flavors. When you talk about delicious ice cream, you've got to try Brooker's founding flavors ice cream. I love it. It is by far my favorite brand of ice cream now. It's made with the highest level of creaminess, highest quality ingredients. I'm talking real vanillas from around the world and really good chocolate. And you can go into their store, which is really cool, in Utah.
I need to do that.
The experience is really fun because you walk into a colonial tavern from 1776 with period decor, and I think we showed the photo of somebody in the stocks.
That's right.
Yeah. One of our listeners that went and experienced it.
Yeah, this ice cream is just phenomenal, and I'm so grateful that they are constantly sending it to us here at the studio.
And you don't have to go to Utah to experience it. They'll send it right to your doorstep.
Uh-huh.
Fantastic. It is so good. Again, the normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill ice cream, there's a photo of one of our listeners in the stocks. But the normal run-of-the-mill grocer's freezer ice cream is about 8%, I think, butterfat. 8 to 10. And then if you want premium, it's about 12% butterfat. Super premium starts at 14%. This is 16% plus. So it is super, ultra, mega Doppler premium ice cream. Check out their website. They got a ton of amazing flavors, including the new Marie Antoinette Let Them Eat Red Velvet Cake flavor for Valentine's Day. Go to brookersicecream.com, BROOKERS, icecream.com. Click on the Ship Nationwide tab, brookersicecream.com, and click on that Ship Nationwide tab.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Can you believe how many places there are? And maybe I haven't been paying attention, but there are a bunch of states and a bunch of people in those states. California, Wyoming, is it New Hampshire? Talking about secession. People are serious about it. Now, that used to be, when you talk secession, you'd be talking about somebody in Texas. Because Texas is one. Some people in Texas have wanted to secede since they got into the union.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help do my part in getting Texit to trend.
Texit.
Yeah. Now, I did not come up with that, but
that's good, though.
Yeah, it's TEXIT. Much like Brexit.
Yes.
So let's get that trending, y'all.
So The Hill tweeted out, there's a group in Colorado County seeking secession from Colorado to join Wyoming. Do we have that photo? So they've carved out just
look at that. Wyoming will get a panhandle.
Yeah.
Dipping down into Colorado.
Just that little piece of Colorado would join Wyoming.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want Nebraska to get that county, Weld County, Colorado, because then it would just look like Nebraska has a big buck tooth hanging down into Colorado.
Oh, yeah, it would.
But, yeah, I mean, and there's been a long history of movements, some more serious than others. I should have bought this book. It was in some museum store once. And I mean, it was a thick book with maybe a couple pages for each movement that's happened over the last 200 plus years. And it just feels like the turbulence that we're experiencing as a nation, these feel more real now.
They really do. Yeah, they really do. The effort to split California into 5 states is real as well. I mean, those people are serious. Why? Because it gives them 5 times the power in Congress. If you have you're going to have. Well, they already have 2 senators.
Right.
So if you add 8 more, you'd add 8 more.
Right. And
who are probably liberals.
Probably, yeah. Unless maybe there's some red pockets there, or, quite a bit of red. Maybe you get one conservative state out of the deal, but either way, you're going to end up with more liberals than conservatives now in the Senate.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting because it used to be believed, and probably still is in some quarters, that Texas had a right to secede if they wanted to, that was the agreement with the United States when they joined the Union. That's not true, but we do have the right to break into 5 different states if we so choose, which I wouldn't even want to see us do that. But if California did it, we should do the same thing and break up into 5 different conservative states.
Seriously. You're right, domino effect there.
Should do it.
Just make sure that I'm not in the state that has Austin.
Yeah.
Or Dallas.
Or inner city, anywhere,
or
probably.
El Paso. I don't want that.
It's getting close in Texas now. It's getting close.
I don't even want Fort Worth.
Meanwhile, we've got this talk. Well, Fort Worth is a pit. I mean, it's just
roads. I swear, the roads in Lebanon are probably smoother than Fort Worth.
Yes,
that town. Let me tell you. I know that this is a international show, but let me just vent for a second. Fort Worth builds apartments literally all around the edges of their city limits, so that all the towns that surround Fort Worth have to deal with the infrastructure issues and the traffic concerns and the nightmares that come from the surge of population there. And the roads are constantly going 2 miles an hour, if that. And those are on roads that aren't even paved. I hate you, Fort Worth.
And speaking all of this, there is a really strong movement right now to make the District of Columbia a state.
Oh, that's what we need.
Yeah, our 51st state district. I wonder if that helps Democrats. I wonder.
No, okay.
No, certainly not.
They say I love won't pay the rent.
That's right, woodchuckers. It's Groundhog Day.
I guess that's so we don't have.
I don't know why they picked such a hideous song to start that whole sequence in the movie.
Hideous.
The hideous. Hideous. Are you a big Sonny and Cher fan?
Oh, my goodness. Am I?
You have everything they ever did?
Yes.
Okay.
I, of course, do.
Well, you've got questionable taste in music then.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
That's true. But they made that song iconic even more so.
Yeah, they did. 888-900-3393. Also, at Pat Unleashed on Twitter, where we got a bunch of tweets that have come in. This from Tobin for Pope. Can we split South Dakota into 20 different states and make Kristi Noem empress of all of them?
I like that plan.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes. God, Guns, and Coffee tweets, if California breaks into 5, Texas should break into 20.
Yep.
Well, we'd have to combat that. The D.C. statehood, Puerto Rican statehood. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Democrats jam both of those through.
They are not being shy.
No, they're not.
And Chuck Schumer even said that Biden can do an executive order to write off $50,000 in student loan debt.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, it's getting a little ridiculous at this point.
Wow. Well, what do we need Congress for? They should all go home.
Right?
Just go home.
Why do you care how many senators and congressmen there are?
Doesn't matter.
We don't need them.
Makes no never mind. If Joe Biden's just going to sign everything he wants into law.
Makes no never mind.
I got this from Lynn. Lynn tweets, if Biden comes out of the White House and sees his shadow, 6 more weeks to wait for the stimulus check.
Nice.
B. de Bodine, maybe the White House should hire Psychic Nikki as their press secretary so she'll know the questions before they're asked. Cutting out the need to circle back.
There we go.
I like it. From Stinky Biscuit, whenever I'm asked if I want to round up, I ask them if they'd like to round down, and they immediately have change. That's great. Would you like to round up? No, why don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you round down?
That's that guilty thing where they're like,
Do you want to donate to a children's charity? Round up to, to save kids?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. I'm a heartless bastard, and now you're going to have to come to terms with that as I walk out of here.
You know what's really smart is to give charitable donations to your grocery store clerk. That way, you know exactly where that money is going. Right? I mean, I have no idea when they say whatever charity they're trying to collect for. I don't have any idea of how efficient you are, where that's going, what you're doing with it.
Think about that.
I hate that grocery store charity thing because of all the unknowns.
I don't know about in your town, but grocery stores don't even bag your groceries for you anymore.
Yeah.
And yet you want me to give you more money to get out of here?
Mm-hmm.
Bag my groceries.
Would you like to donate to children with no eyelids today?
No, I wouldn't. Give them a blindfold so they can sleep, okay? The blindfold will double as eyelids.
How about this? I'll give to the blindfold fund.
Yeah.
But that's
But not the children without eyelids?
Yeah, so you got grocery stores wanting to raise money for kids, and you got like Cabela's and Bass Pro Shops want me to give to some wildlife fund.
No.
Everybody's got a niche. How about you just take the money that I owe you for this product and let me leave? Period.
And if you want to donate it, that's your business. Go ahead.
Right. Obviously, why don't you know what? Tell you what, Cabela's.
Irritating.
Why don't you call Main Event? Have them send my penny over.
From Viking Writer, oh no, Biden saw his shadow. 6 more weeks of executive orders. Yeah, followed by another 3.5 years of them.
Yeah.
So was President Biden at Gobbler's Knob today? Did he make it over there? Yeah. I guess the officials are there, but they're not allowing any crowd.
Yeah, you really have to have a VIP badge to get in to that big event today.
And that hurts when you can't make your annual Gobbler's Knob pilgrimage. It's tough.
Is it time to update that name?
Gobbler's Knob?
Gobbler's Knob?
No, I love it.
Okay.
I think it should stay. By the way, young people, for some reason, according to this new survey, think Joe Biden is going to lead the United States out of the recession. They're confident about it. More than 4 out of 5 believe. That's 4 out of 5 between the ages of 18 and 41. Say they think the Biden administration will do a good job of handling the economic recession. The same survey found that rosy assessment fell off sharply among older voters. Yeah, because they know better. They know better. They were evenly split over whether Biden can steer us out of it. Unsurprisingly, the biggest point of departure fell along party lines. 93% of Democrats said Biden's doing a good job. Hey, people, have you picked up a newspaper or gone to an internet website that shows you what he's been doing? The sentiment was shared by 62% of independents and just 30% of Republicans. I find it hard to believe 30% of Republicans said he's doing a good job. Seriously? How can that possibly be? Wow. And then the N1 James. I know I promised 2,000, but there's a coin shortage, so we're only going to do 1,400. So there you go.
Well played.
That's why you couldn't make it happen, and that makes sense. Now there's a gun store in Missouri that's taking some action to fight back a little bit. They put up a sign recently that says, "We don't have guns or ammo for Biden supporters."
Oh.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
But see, now finding someone that would admit that they voted for Biden, that's going to be your trick there.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of really offended left-wing nuts, and so they took to Twitter to express their displeasure. So when you go to bankruptcy court, you're going to tell the judge I went out of business due to being overly bitter? Then there's this. Good to know, I'll take my money somewhere else. Well, yeah, that's what he's suggesting, thus the sign.
None of these people tweeting, would ever step foot into that store anyway.
I know. That's absolutely right. Love it that you've decided to show us what the expression shooting yourself in the foot actually looks like. Thanks. And one guy who lives about a half hour from the store had this to say: I had a few grand to spend on a small backup to my Springfield XD and some other gear and ammo. Good to know you don't want my money because I don't want a fake billionaire reality TV star as my president. Shut up. Like this guy really was going to go spend a couple $1,000s at this guy's store. Unlikely, I would say. Completely unlikely. And we've got California, who is considering new school curriculum. The state's proposed new ethnic studies curriculum is probably even worse than you might imagine at first glance. The new curriculum, which will eventually be promulgated throughout the California school system of 6 million children. And then what happens is that it also is then usually distributed throughout the rest of the country because it starts in California, winds up everywhere. But this new curriculum would critique empire and its relationship to white supremacy, racism, patriarchy, cis-heteropatriarchy.
What?
Cis-heteropatriarchy?
I don't even know. I'm not even.
You ever heard of that before?
No. Do I dare Google this?
Well,
Cis-hetero.
Cisgender is like you're just the gender that you were born with. Hetero, obviously you're heterosexual. And then patriarchy is, is run by men. So that's everything they hate in one word, I guess. So
people sit around bitter about made-up crap and come up with words and definitions for them.
So they're going to try to make our children hate everything they do as well. So this would critique empire and its relationship to white supremacy, racism, patriarchy, cis-heteropatriarchy, capitalism, ableism, and other forms of power and oppression. Stop. It would build new possibilities for post-imperial life that promotes collective narratives of transformative resistance. What a bunch of BS this is.
Seriously.
Capitalism was classified as a form of power and oppression. Can you believe this? And this is going to be polluting the minds of our kids in California.
When is the last time America flexed its imperial muscle? Maybe the Spanish-American War? 1898? Seriously. When's the last time we marched into a place and we're like, all right, we're taking you over?
Right.
And yet that's what they claim, that we're imperialist.
Capitalism was classified as a form of power and oppression. Although classism, homophobia, Islamophobia, and transphobia were also listed as forms of oppression, anti-Semitism was not. Jewish Americans weren't even mentioned as a minority group.
Oh, boy.
Isn't that great? So they're going to teach you to hate being white and to hate capitalism.
And by omission, Jews.
Yes, right.
Which, in a world where anti-Semitism is clearly on the rapid rise, you might want to educate people about something that happened in the middle of the last century. But no.
No.
Let's make sure we talk about
ableism, which is what? I don't even really know what ableism is, except that that's what they would claim. The Jeopardy host. Remember the tweet he did? Ken Jennings.
Yeah.
Ken Jennings tweeted out.
Oh, no.
Like 9 years ago or something.
Right. I think it was Jeffy had his account. I think Jeffy was logged into Ken Jennings' account. And what did he tweet?
And he was just kind of making a joke. And he said there's nothing more sad than a hot person in a wheelchair. Now that's ableism, I guess. Thinking that there's anything wrong with being in a wheelchair, because goodness knows nobody would mind, being consigned to a wheelchair for the rest of your life. What a world.
Ableism.
They are really stretching.
Which tells you, boy, things must be really awesome in this country if we have people that sit around coming up with stuff like this to complain about.
Yep. I think that's a pretty good assessment of it. But that is where we are, sadly.
Cis-hetero patriarchy is taking over our country.
Cis-hetero patriarchy. Seriously. Okay. Let me tell you about Rough Greens. Vitamins and minerals and oxidants, antioxidants in this supplement to dog food. Just some of what you're going to get when you pick up a bag of Rough Greens for your dog. Most dog food, as you probably know by now, the dry kibble stuff that you put in their bowl every day, that's all dead food. They sterilize it so that it lasts a really long time on the shelf. So your dog's not getting any nutrition from it. Rough Greens isn't a dog food. It's a supplement that you sprinkle on the food. They love the taste. I mean, they really get after it. And it's incredibly good for them. When I started giving Rough Greens to my dog, she, I think, decided, wow, I'm not going to eat anything else but this. Unless this is on top of my dog food, I'm not going to touch it. And ever since then, she hasn't. If there's no Rough Greens on it, she'll just walk away from the bowl. But she'll eat it in one sitting if you put the Rough Greens on it. So she absolutely loves it. And it's made her puppy-like again. Get the Rough Greens Jumpstart Bag today for just $14.95. Start the process of getting your dog healthier and happier. If you want to see your dog thrive again, it's roughgreens.com/blaze. That's RUFF greens.com/blaze. The incredible genius of the Biden administration continues today. It's expected that Biden is going to sign another executive order.
Whoa, who could have seen that coming?
Right? He's only done 42 so far. You're going to do another one? Huh. Interesting.
Weird.
So this particular executive order will set up a task force designed to reunite families separated at the U.S. southern border during the evil Trump administration. According to a senior administration official quoted by the Washington Post, the Biden task force will work across the U.S. government with key stakeholders and representatives of impacted families and with partners across the hemisphere to find parents and children separated by the Trump administration, the evil Trump administration. We don't know yet how they're going to reunite the children with their parents, however, and they act as if the Trump administration didn't do any of this. What you're leaving out is that the Trump administration did try to reunite the kids with their parents. And in many cases, the parents had already gone back to wherever they came from, Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico. And when contacted and said, hey, we got your children here, how about we send them back to you? They were turned down often. Why? Because they don't want to be reunited in Guatemala or Honduras or Mexico with their kids. They want their kids and them to be reunited in the United States of America, despite the fact that they tried to come here illegally. So if you're not going to send them back to us, then the parents, then what are you going to do with them? You got to find somebody in the United States to place them with, or what exactly do you do? And when people show up and claim to be related to them, but can't prove they're related to them, what are you supposed to do? They could be coyotes. They could be sex traffickers. You have no idea. A lot of the separation came when the children were with adults, but those adults weren't their parents. And so officials became a little concerned that maybe they had ill intent for these kids, that maybe they were going to traffic in the sex slave situation.
So Donald Trump and his administration cared about these children and making sure that they didn't end up in this horrific sex trade or with someone that wasn't a relative. And for that, they hate children.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And can you imagine if they just sent them on their way with anybody who showed up asking for them? Okay, yeah, go ahead. Wow. I mean, what a mess that would be. It just shows either dishonesty or complete ignorance in what is happening in the real world with illegal immigration like this. And who these, I mean, there are some really bad actors that are bringing people across the border. And they're doing it for $7,000 per person. And they're paid by who knows who. Drug cartels in many cases. And they've got bad intent with them. They're going to turn them into mules, people who ferry drugs back and forth across the border. Or again, the sex trafficking industry. You don't know what you're dealing with here. And it's just so irresponsible of these Democrats to keep harping on this as if the Trump administration really wanted bad things to happen to these kids. It's just incredible. Got some tweets here. From America's discarded giblet tissue.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if the IRS will let me round down. Oh, yeah, like the main event did to Keith.
We should try that.
Sure, that should be fine.
That will be fun filing taxes.
Can I round down to the nearest 1,000, please? From Rowdy Introvert, what the survey tells me is that the survey that says 18 to 41-year-olds, 4 out of 5 of them think that Biden can lead us out of this recession. What the survey tells me is that 4 out of 5 young people don't understand what the words lead or recession mean. Good point.
Wait, is that what that survey said? Was young people 18 to 45?
18 to 41, yeah.
Oh, it's 41?
Mm. Yeah, were you hoping to be classified young?
Sure was.
Yeah, didn't work out for you, though.
Dang it.
Sorry, Keith. It's too bad. You're now officially old.
Yeah, I feel like it.
From Mother Fessler?
Look at this picture.
There were cardboard cutouts at Gobbler's Knob. Seriously, I actually watched it live. I think sound was piped in for fan background, and there's some of the cardboard cutouts.
Were there 6 people? 6 fake people there? They couldn't even get you to... What?
That's the only crowd you could round up there for him?
Wow, that's Gobbler's Knob.
Kind of sad. Wow.
Yeah, if you missed it, Punxsutawney Phil did see a shadow.
6 more weeks of winter.
I mean, seriously.
Like, that's a surprise.
When do you think they decide? Do you think the guy wakes up that morning, the guy that gets to talk to him, which, by the way, the sound was down, but it looked like Phil was actually talking. He's just moving his little groundhog lips. And it was really creepy, actually, because they were like face to face and they're talking to each other. Anyway, when do you think the dude in the top hat decides it's going to be winter or spring? Like that morning, or maybe like a week before?
I don't know. Do they just flip a coin?
Oh, could be that. Could be that. See,
I don't know.
I always thought when I was a kid, they let the groundhog out, and if he runs back in, it's winter. If he stays out and plays and hangs with the crowd there at Gobbler's Knob, then it's springtime. But no, it's just some freak of nature dude in a top hat and a long coat.
Who just makes up the whole thing.
Makes it up right there on the spot, apparently.
Yeah.
That is a weird tradition.
Really weird. And here's the thing. It's not accurate either. I don't know if you're aware of that.
We should actually... I'm Googling right now. How accurate is the groundhog?
It's a stinking hoax.
And do we know if Bill de Blasio has dropped a groundhog today in his fair city?
Oh, and he killed that poor thing, too.
Poor thing.
That poor thing. Wow. Thanks for bringing that up. That has just ruined my day, thinking of that poor groundhog hitting the floor.
I do apologize for that.
That's crazy.
He had a Twitter account for a while looking for justice.
Really? The groundhog? They got injured?
Justice for whatever his name was.
That's funny.
Yeah. I'll try to find out.
And by the way, groundhogs aren't meteorologists. No, they've not gone to school at all. They haven't studied the craft at all.
How do you know?
I just know. There's some things I just know.
Could be,
and that's one of them.
He might have Wi-Fi in his little groundhog cave there and takes online courses.
No, that's not what happens.
No? Okay.
No.
All right. I love this.
Because underground, you can't get good reception on the internet anyway, so.
Listen to this. The Inner Circle, in keeping with the suspension of disbelief, claims a 100% accuracy rate for Punxsutawney Phil.
What?
An approximately 80% accuracy rate in recorded predictions, claiming in turn that whenever the prediction is wrong, the person in charge translating the message must have made a mistake in the interpretation.
Okay. So the groundhog's always right.
Right.
All right.
Pat Gray.
Good morning, woodchuck chuckers. It's Groundhog Day.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
That time I was ready to shout it out, man.
Yeah. You're a little late. Okay.
And then you did.
Late. Okay. All right. 888-933-93. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Speaking of Groundhog Day, you know how long? Have you ever read about how long people have estimated Bill Murray was in that reality, where he repeated the same day over and over and over, and then became so talented and skilled at so many different things? How long would it take to do that?
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Years.
34 years.
Oh.
You think of all the things that he learned, how to become, he was very proficient on the piano, for instance. Learned how to speak fluent French.
Oh, yeah.
Change tires with people sitting in the car really fast. Let's see, what else?
I'm not learning that trait.
He actually became a doctor of sorts, apparently, because he fixed the guy's back, gave him the Heimlich maneuver, saved his life. I mean, so many things. And to become proficient and to memorize all the things he memorized, like the security guards in the Brinks truck that were delivering money to the bank, it would take a long time to do all that stuff. So
effectively, he did become a god, little g.
Right, yes.
As he said early on.
Essentially, he did, yeah.
By the way, housekeeping, they have an impartial estimate of the accuracy of Punxsutawney Phil at Gobbler's Knob, is that he's right about 35 to 40% of the time.
Oh, I think that's a stretch, too.
Yeah.
35 to 40%?
Yeah.
Because the Gobbler's Knob people claim he's 100% accurate. Okay.
And when he's wrong,
gotcha.
The top hat guy just interpreted incorrectly. Okay. I mean, this is grown men do this.
That's sad.
All right, let's talk to Phil.
This must be a pretty great country, though, when you got time to even do that.
Right.
Please.
Good stuff.
All right. Chicago aldermen creating safe spaces now in Chicago to pump gas because they have such a spike in carjackings that they've decided they need extra law enforcement in the area. Like they're going to post them at gas pumps. It's unbelievable.
If you need a microcosm example of how bad off Chicago is, boom, this story. My goodness.
It's crazy. Chicago's spike in carjacking has some residents so rattled that aldermen are working with private security to make sure the residents can pump gas without losing their car or their life. South Side Alderman Stephanie Coleman said one of her residents was carjacked at a gas station on Christmas Day, which inspired the idea to hire local security to provide a safe space to fill up because people are afraid to get gas, no matter what time of day it is. They get carjacked. In broad daylight, it's happening.
Yeah, on Christmas even.
Now, how much do you want to live in Chicago? Murder rate's up like, I don't know, 50% or something year to year. And the carjackings are up by, let's see, they rose just 135%. That's all.
I mean, we're cherry picking stats here, obviously. Beyond the carjackings in broad daylight on Christmas Day, the quality of life in Chicago
it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Carjackings rose 135%. Wow. That's a lot.
Seems high.
That seems like too much. A top police official said last week there have been at least 166 carjackings in Chicago this year.
What was that number again?
166.
In 1 month.
Yeah. Is that too many? Do you think? That's not every car in Chicago has been carjacked.
So we found the one thing that's outpacing the Joe Biden executive order rate.
Right. Carjackings in Chicago. Well, I mean, what do you want? Perfection where you live? Come on.
Again.
How many times have you been carjacked? I mean, 8, 9, 12, whatever the figure is.
I mean, every utopia has a blemish.
Sure.
We found Chicago's.
Well, that and the shootings. You know.
Oh, okay, well.
And then they got the downside of the frigid cold winters.
Well, I mean.
Then in the summer, the heat and humidity melt your face. Then you got, the wonderful mayor, Lori Lightfoot, who is just a joy and a delight.
Again, you're cherry picking stats here. I got it.
Yeah, I apologize. All right, 888-900-3393. Here's something that's a little bit chilling. The head of the EU, the European Union, was discussing our future. And see if you find this a little chilling. This is Ursula von der Leyen.
About the links between biodiversity loss and COVID.
And COVID.
Now we must move to action. It is why we will protect at least 30% of land and sea here in Europe. We are ready to broker the same ambition at global level. At the next UN Biodiversity Summit in Kunming. A year ago at Davos, we talked also intensively about digitalization.
Jawohl.
The business model of online platforms has an impact, and not only on free and fair competition, but also on our democracies, our security, and on the quality of our information. And that is why we need to contain this immense power of the big digital companies. We want it clearly laid down that internet companies take responsibility for the manner in which they disseminate, promote, and remove content. The challenges to our democracy. The pandemic, climate change.
Climate change, yeah, definitely.
In his inauguration speech, President Joe Biden so aptly spoke of a cascade of crises. And indeed, we face an outstanding set of challenges. But we can meet them if we work together.
No.
And that's what we all have to learn again after 4 long years.
Oh, shut up, you.
That it is not a sign of weakness to reach out and help each other, but a signal of strength. The point is
get to it.
That it is only by working together across borders and across sectors that we can tackle our global challenges.
Yes. One world government. That's what is needed here. It's a little creepy hearing all of that in a German accent, isn't it?
If you got those things to say,
creepy.
just hand it off to someone that
find
has
somebody else.
Any other accent. Anyone will do. Oh, boy.
And what she is saying there is, we need some sort of global agency to control all of this stuff, to take care of all of this stuff. No.
And we have a willing partner, we believe, in Joe Biden.
And I believe they do, too.
Yeah.
Sure. So, wow. 888-900-3393. Also, we're getting rid of oil, of course, and that's an important step that the Biden administration is taking. And, the EU agrees with him on that as well.
It's about time.
We're just all going to finally give up oil dependency.
I'm sick of oil.
What's oil ever done for us, anyway? What? Is there any need for it?
Right.
There's enough electric cars. We could all switch over without much problem at all. And then if you just stop drilling for oil,
then we'll be good.
Sure, you might lose a couple of products. Like
what?
I don't know. Solvents, ink, upholstery. Who needs upholstery? Bubble gum.
Okay.
I would never have guessed.
Hold on a second.
There's petroleum in bubble gum.
All right, then I don't want bubble gum.
I know, right? Dresses, cassettes, motorcycle helmets, CD players, curtains, vitamin capsules, dashboards, putty, percolators, skis, tool racks, mops, umbrellas, roofing, denture adhesives, speakers, tennis rackets, nylon rope, water pipes, shampoo.
All right, again with the cherry picking.
Guitar strings, antifreeze, clothes. We don't need clothes, do we? Who needs clothes?
No, except for Wednesdays and Fridays, please.
Yeah, please. I mean, look at that list. It's too long and too big a list to put it all in the screen at once.
And
there you go. Look at that.
Tweet this out at Pat Unleashed because it's.
And I think this is only a partial list.
Right.
You just never think of this. You know, like Vaseline. Whoever thinks Vaseline, you know what the actual name of Vaseline is? Because that's the brand name. Petroleum jelly. Petroleum is part of its name.
I can see why they marketed that a little differently.
Yeah. The only thing on this that you would kind of say, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Motor oil? Yeah, I thought there was some oil in motor oil.
Now, see,
You never thought of that?
never got there.
Soap, shoes, footballs, detergents, tents, telephones, cameras, bandages, hair curlers, drinking cups, ammonia, toothpaste.
Wow.
Toothpaste?
Drinking cups. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into the mouth here that came right out of the ground.
We're eating a lot of stinking petroleum. I'll tell you that right now. Toilet seats? We don't need toilets, do we? I mean, you talk about the basic necessities of civilization, and petroleum is in all of it. Almost every single thing we use on a daily basis has some kind of petroleum in it. So it goes so far beyond gasoline and natural gas and all the things that are really super obvious, motor oil among them. But then you think of all the products that are made with it, and it's amazing. It's absolutely astounding. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. UC Riverside, there's a UC Riverside professor that says heterosexuality is tragic. It's a tragic concept that perpetuates misogyny, funnels men into supporting toxic masculinity, and it breaks up relationships. We need to stop being heterosexuals. We need to stop. It's killing our society.
I think that's in the stack of executive orders Joe Biden's got to get to still.
Stop heterosexuality.
Yeah, as soon as he gets his 4-hour nap in.
Jane Ward, professor of gender and sexuality studies. Anytime you have a professor of ethnic studies, gender studies, you know it's going to be bad. And she's a self-described lesbian, says that heterosexual relationships are inherently bad for people and their interpersonal relationships because they highlight inequality. How long have I been saying that, Keith?
Since I've known you.
Yeah, from the beginning.
You were ahead of the curve
from
20
the
years
beginning.
ago.
Stop with the hetero stuff, would you please? In an article she wrote in December, Ward argued that men and women don't actually like each other. Oh. Okay.
Wait.
She feels sorry for straight people, especially straight women who typically report some of the lowest sexual satisfaction in society. But she also feels sorry for straight men who are pigeonholed into toxic masculine culture that teaches them they both need and yet should also demean women. Yeah, I can't remember being taught to demean women. I don't remember that teaching.
Oh, that's because you didn't meet Jeffy until recently. Or else you would have.
That's true. It really looks like straight men and women don't like each other very much, that women spend so much time complaining about men, and we still have so much evidence of misogyny. From an LGBTQIA2+ perspective, heterosexuality looks actually very tragic. You imagine saying this about homosexuality? If you were to say this about homosexuals, that it was tragic, that they actually don't like each other, that they're pathetic, you'd be canceled. The cancel culture would cancel you. In a statement, she also said that she wrote this new book because she loves straight couples. Yeah, that's obvious. And hopes to better educate them. I wrote this book because I love straight people and because the research on heterosexual marital satisfaction over the life course shows that straight couples are struggling to balance work and family obligations. And this leads to frustration and resentment for many straight women, in particular, the straight women. Jeez. Remember when generalizing or stereotyping a certain segment of our society based on race or sexual preference was frowned upon. You remember that?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Well, unless what you're generalizing are heteros or white people, then that's fine.
I mean, that's how I make it through a day.
By stereotyping heterosexual white people?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much stereotype everyone.
Yeah.
But top of that list is whitey heteros.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I've been well conditioned by this society, Pat.
I mean, will this ever end? When
No.
are we going to stand up and say, all right, stop it. Stop the discrimination. Again, maybe we need to add white people to the discrimination list that we were talking about with right-wing politics. Because there needs to be some protection here against discrimination for people of a certain political persuasion, meaning anybody on the right, any conservative. And I think white people and heterosexuals need protection as well. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, what was the...
Every day it gets worse.
Yeah, what was the California education standards? And all the protected minorities now, and they left anti-Semitism off of that list. That was a glaring example of something missing.
Right.
But yet it was... what was it? Ableism was on there.
Jeez.
What was it? The cis hetero patriarchy.
Cis hetero patriarchy.
Where was speciesism? Was that not?
They didn't mention that one, but that was.
That's in the updated version that's going to be printed up later.
Okay. Unbelievable. This woman who... Oh, I'm sorry. I used the word
Point
woman.
of personal privilege.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Good point. Seriously. Thank you. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. That reminds me, by the way, I've decided that I have new preferred pronouns in my life. I'm tired of he and him. Now I want her and she. But you have to say them together, like her, she. Because I now identify as a candy bar, a milk chocolate candy bar. Hershey.
Should we be updating your Twitter profile?
Yes, we probably should. My preferred pronoun is her and she, but you say it together, so it's Hershey.
Uh-huh.
You know, like the candy bar.
Like the candy bar.
So I think that's really important to make that distinction.
Mm-hmm.
That's how stupid things are right now. It is getting so ridiculous that I might as well identify as a candy bar. Speaking of how awful masculinity is and white people are, actress Evan Rachel Wood says that her ex-fiance, musician and actor Marilyn Manson horrifically abused and brainwashed her, even grooming her as a teenager. Wood and Manson began dating in 2007 when she was just 19 and he was 38. Wow. She says that Manson, whose real name is Brian Warner. Did you know that about Marilyn Manson?
Not presently. I think I looked it up at some point.
I did not know that his real name was Brian Warner. But apparently he carried out heinous acts of abuse on her during their relationship. It's really terrible. In a Monday Morning Post, Instagram post yesterday, Wood wrote, "The name of my abuser is Brian Warner, also known to the world as Marilyn Manson. He started grooming me when I was a teenager and horrifically abused me for years. I was brainwashed and manipulated into submission." Jeez. That's awful. Manson told Spin Magazine in 2009 he often fantasized about smashing Wood's skull in with a sledgehammer. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's crazy. If this is true, it's pretty shocking, right? The guy who combined the names of Marilyn Monroe and Charlie Manson, the serial killer psycho, that guy might not be much of a gentleman. That is shocking, isn't it? Yeah. Marilyn Manson could be a bad guy.
How could you see that coming?
You can't see it coming. But apparently a whole bunch of women are jumping in and saying, well, me too. He apparently has abused a lot of people. Locked women in rooms, when he says they're being bad, kept them away from certain friends, or if I didn't stay away, he would threaten to come after them. Wow. The only thing shocking about this is that we're just finding out about it now, that they're just talking about it now. What a creepy dude he is. Yeah. All right, 888-900-3393, also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Beto O'Rourke considering a run for Texas governor. Did you see it? Did you read about that? Did you see the paper today?
That is
you see
crazy,
this, Kevin?
Jay. Ugh. Please.
He's mulling a run for Texas governor. He says Ted Cruz is guilty of sedition in the Capitol insurrection. Wow. And considering a 2022 gubernatorial run, setting up a potential challenge against incumbent Greg Abbott, who people are pissed off at right now.
Yeah.
But I hope they're not pissed enough to vote for Beto O'Rourke over him.
No, it could come down to Beto versus Blaze TV's own Chad Prather.
Could come down to that.
As you know, is running for Texas governor. So
as a Republican or as an independent? What is
a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because are you going to take on Abbott in a primary? It's something I'm going to think about, O'Rourke said.
Oh, please. Just whatever.
He went on to hit Abbott's handling of the coronavirus pandemic, accusing him of complete indifference to steps local leaders are taking to save lives amid the health crisis. You know what that would do, though?
Oh, no, please, honey.
It could bring this back. And, I mean, how valuable and wonderful would that be?
So, I actually jumped around this song the other day. Like, the entirety. It goes on forever.
Oh, really?
It is. This is the good part. I'm not exaggerating. It turns into a cacophony of hell.
Seriously?
Seriously.
So you've heard the entire...
I jumped around.
Is there
and
singing?
It was just, I think it was like a jam session, really. It was so bad. I don't even remember.
How can you say that? Listen to this. I mean, that's...
the good part. I'm serious. I'll send you that link.
All
but
right,
now he
please
could
do.
be his own opening act, you know? He could,
right.
They have a band at these, events, these campaign stops, and he could play the music, him and Foss.
Which was the name of his band, right?
Yeah.
Foss?
Yeah.
All right.
Bad stuff.
So, hopefully that won't come to fruition because, I don't know, things are so weird right now. Would you be surprised if Beto O'Rourke won?
Don't speak it into existence, man.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to South Dakota if this happens.
Which is going to break into 20 states.
Whatever. I'll pick one.
And
Empress Nome.
Kristi Noem will be Empress of all of them.
I thought Beto was supposed to be banning our guns right now through executive fiat. No?
Yeah, well, don't remind him, please, because that's coming soon enough. By the way, good luck with your hip surgery.
Thank you.
Which Keith goes in for tomorrow.
Don't say it like that. Say, I tore a labrum kicking field goals.
That's what it was. Okay.
Thank you.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.